So, students, we are going to see about the human genetics. You all know the genetics play a major role in our heredities or the genetic disorders or anything to the offsprings or in the humans. So, human chromosomes, if you see the simple basic one, what I'm telling here, here is a picture of chromosomes arranged in a picture is called as a karyotype. This is called as a karyotype. If you see a normal human has 46 chromosomes, 23 pairs. The number of chromosomes helps to identify what the organism is. So if you see egg and sperm are haploid containing half the amount of chromosome, that is 23. So these cells are called as sex cells. A female chromosome is XX and a male is XY. So all other cells of 46 chromosomes in them, they are diploid. So these cells are called as autosomes. All human egg cells carry a single X chromosome. Half of all sperm cells carry an X, and half carry a Y chromosome. So if you see, this ensures that just about half of the zygote will be 46 XX and the other half will be 46 XY. So human traits. So human genes are inherited according to the same principles that we have discussed earlier about Mendel's discoveries, inheritance. So human genes are inherited according to the same principles that Mendel discovered. So if you see here the chart which illustrates a family relationship between a family, you can see which has been illustrated with different colors, how the chart has been in here, how it has been inherited. You can see the colors here. This is a chart which shows. So, genetic counselors analyze pedigree charts to infer the genotypes of family members. Many traits are strongly influenced by environmental or non-genetical factors, like including some nutrition and the exercise. So, the human genome, a complete set of genetic information, includes tens of thousands of genes. So, if you can see here, some of the very first genes to be identified were those that control blood type. If you see blood group genes, human blood comes in a variety of genetically determined blood groups. You all know the different blood types are AB, O plus. There is also a RH factor, that is RH positive and RH negative. So here are the blood groups, the phenotype, genotype, antigen and antibodies, how it has been reflected, it's shown here. So, what are recessive alleles? Many human genes have become known through the study of genetic disorders, as I told you all. In most cases, genetic disorders are usually recessive. And if you see, this is one kind of a genetic disorder, albinism. You can see the color. This picture illustrates that. Cystic fibrosis, where where this fibrosis will take, the inflammation of fibrosis will cyst will be formed in the breast area or in the leg area or anywhere. Darwinism, you know, the short puts, no growth. Sickle cell anemia, you can see here this picture includes the sickle cell anemia, sickle cell disease. So dominant alleles, not all genetic disorders are caused by a recessive allele. There are two examples of genetic disorder caused by the dominant alleles, that is the Darwinism and Hunting's disease. If you see here, Hunting's disease, this picture includes the Hunting's disease. So sickle cell disease is caused by a codominant allele. So if you see here, in both in the before previous images, if you see cystic fibrosis and sickle cell disease, a small change in the DNA of a single gene affects the structure of a protein, causing this series of genetic disorders. Common that means if cystic fibrosis is most common among people with North European ancestors. People with this cystic fibrosis have serious digestive problems. In addition, they have produced thick, heavy mucus that clogs the lungs and breathing pathways. Sickle cell disease is found in African Americans. So it is a bent and twisted shape of the RBC. Sickle cell anemia or sickle cell disease is it is nothing but it is a bent and twisted shape of the RBC. As a result, what happens? The blood stops moving through these vessels, damaging cells, tissues, and organs. So sickle cell disease produces some symptoms like physical weakness, damage to the brain, heart, and the spleen. So if you see human chromosomes, human genes and chromosomes, if you see the chromosomes are 21 and 22 are the smallest human autosomes. Chromosome 22 contains 43 million DNA base pairs. Chromosome 21 contains about 32 millions of base pairs. So sex-linked genes. Many sex-linked genes are found on the X chromosome. More than 100 sex-linked genetic disorders are found on the X. So males have just one X chromosome, thus all X-linked alleles are expressed in the males even if they are recessive. One more is color blindness. The most common disorder is red green color blindness, affecting in 1 in 10 in males in the US. Among females, color blindness is only 1 to 100. So this is the images which will illustrate the color blindness. Hemophilia is also one kind of a disorder. Here two important genes carried on the X chromosome help clot blood to clot. In hemophilia, protein necessary for normal blood clotting is missing. This is seen about in 1 in 10,000 males is born with hemophilia. So if you see here, the other one, this picture shows the Duchenne muscular dystrophy. This is a disorder that results in the progressive weakening and loss of skeletal muscles. You can see here. So in US, 1 out of 3,000 males are born with this. Next one is X chromosome inactivation. Females have two X chromosomes, but males have only one. In female cells, one X chromosome is randomly switched off. Next, chromosomal disorders. The most common error in meiosis occurs when homologous chromosomes fail to separate. This is known as non-disjunction. If non-disjunction occurs, abnormal number of chromosomes may find their way into gametes and may result in the disorder of chromosomes. Next one, if you see, for example, one more example is given, that is trisomy. If two copies of an autosomal chromosome fail to separate during meiosis, an individual may be born with three copies of chromosome, that is trisomy. So the most common trisomy I have discussed, that is Down syndrome, having an extra chromosome pair number 21. 1 in 800 babies are born with this Down syndrome. You can see here, this is image. Disorders also occurs among the sex chromosomes. Two of these are Turner syndrome and Klinefelter syndrome. In Turner syndrome, there is only one X. The female is sterile and the sex organs do not develop at puberty. This diagram illustrates. There have been no reported cases of babies born without the X chromosome, indicating that the X chromosome contains genes that are vital for the survival and development. So, this is about the genetics. Thank you.